Hello everyone. So a lot of people requested us on how do we conduct a strategy session for an investor. So this is one of the most critical processes before choosing a product. Now we are using a case study of 3 very interesting products that have hit the market. Yash, I've introduced him in a couple of videos. Brilliant consultant, in fact one of the best consultants I've met, and this is me, 17 years in the industry. He's an architect himself, so he's really passionate about this. So Yash, I'm going to let you start.
No, perfect. So this video, guys, is for all the new launches right now which are happening. Right. You have Valley Phase 3. You have 2 clusters which these are releasing. Only independent villas. You obviously have Sobha Elwood. They're coming up with, again, another, let's say, 60 villas in Elwood. And obviously you have a very interesting, again, concept, a V45 series in Damac. So Damac, for the first time, has launched a V45.
New product.
It's always a V55, V75, but obviously the price point was higher.
See, so Valley also, this is a shocking change for Valley. Now, Valley has evolved with the Dubai real estate market. So everyone is complaining about my YouTube channel. First, check out Valley. Why I'm changing my products? Because Valley started with 1.1 million villas. Today, they've launched a very high-end product competing on the products on that stretch.
Yep.
Right? So,
so glad you mentioned, because so one key difference between, let's say, Valley, your Elwood, or let's say your Damac Islands is, so I had a call with an investor and we were discussing the evolution of Valley, for example. So Valley Phase 1 was obviously during COVID times, again, uncertainty, crisis, the market, will it peak, will it again, let's say, flatten, will it go down? So Emaar again considered affordable living, right? I mean, that's why you see 1.1, 1.2, highly dense communities, very small units. Valley 2 came in 2024 where for example, where people understood, that the market is opening up. A lot of people have that bandwidth now to expose more capital in the market. They're looking for better and bigger sizes. So the sizes became better. It was less dense. Valley Phase 3. So this time, by the way, in Valley Phase 3, when I looked at the master plan, at least till now, I mean, I don't know what Emaar will do, but there are no townhouses for the first time, right? So Valley Phase 2, you had lesser number of townhouses, less dense, more, let's say, widened. Valley Phase 3, there's no townhouses, apparently. It's semi-detached villas and independent villas, at least on the master plan.
I have one angle to Valley, okay? Yeah. So if we observe the master plan of Emirates Living District, Dubai Hills, Emaar has this certain strategy with their larger master community.
Correct.
Where they have, so in your Emirates Living, there's Emirates Hills, which is the Beverly Hills of Dubai. You have the Meadows and the Springs, the townhouses, right? Independent villas, townhouses. They always have this sort of premium section.
Correct.
Similarly, in Dubai Hills, you have your Hills, Grove, Emerald,
correct,
Fairways, and then on one other side you have the
Maple, and then Maple, right?
Correct. So they always have this premium sort of luxury section and then mid-luxury section. Yeah. So absolutely. I think those 6,000 townhouses come under this mid-luxury section. Correct. And the other half of Valley where your farm gardens, farm groves,
absolutely,
and these products are coming by is going to be the premium section.
Correct.
And there are quite visible changes in any community, any Emaar community you go to,
yep,
you'll find a visible difference in these two. So that's my angle.
Correct.
But let's get on to this.
Absolutely. And just to, because we're starting with Valley. So interestingly, you mentioned, so I was checking some data. So Valley till now, obviously I'm not considering Valley Phase 3 as of yet, but Valley till now you had Valley Phase 1, Valley Phase 2, and you had a villa section of Valley with Farm Gardens 1, 2, Farm Grove 1 and 2. Total supply of Valley Phase 3, because it's almost 50 million square feet, there are around 7,000 units.
50 million square feet is only Valley Phase 3?
Is only the Valley Phase 1, Valley Phase 2 and the villas segment. Okay. Combined, let's say all of these 3 is around 49-50 million square feet. Okay. Now with Valley Phase 3, I'm sure another 20 million will be added. Okay. So in all of this currently, before Valley Phase 3 came, there was only 7 to 7.2 supply of independent villas. In the whole of Valley, in whole of 50 million square feet, supply of independent villas is only 7% of the total supply, which is around, let's say, 7,000 units. Right. So now it's very interesting how Valley 3 fans out. So the whole idea, guys, is a lot of times, investors let's say they look into this junction, right? You have built up, you have plot, you have price per square feet. And then, your decisions are normally made on this, which is not bad. And obviously we're big fans of Emaar, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper where I wanted to understand, because at the end of the day, see, Sobha Elwood also the first phase is sold out. Valley also sold out. Damac Islands Phase 1 villas, almost I think at 18-19 mil for the V75 plus. So everything's sold out, right? So which means there is a demand for a certain category, and it would be unfair to, just let's say...
I won't talk about getting products getting sold out. Everything sort of sells out, maybe to the right and wrong reasons. And
correct. No, absolutely. So my whole idea was, let us go deeper. Yeah.
Things sell out.
Correct. They don't resell out.
So we need to judge which are the products that come on back to the market at OP.
Correct.
So there are a lot of products.
Yep.
See, 30 to 40% of products come back onto the market at OP.
Yep. Absolutely.
And there are few products that always come back on premium.
Correct.
And how do we get into those investments?
Correct. No, absolutely. And so what we've done is we've actually, a lot of times we talk about this section, but particularly for villas, one more point is a lot of families now relocating.
Yep.
So they're very interested in this portion, floor plans, right? Sizes, not just the sizes, but how many walk-in closets, all are the, let's say, bedrooms, ensuite, overall remarks. Is it like a G+1, G+2? So what we've done is for every comparison between a Valley 3, Elwood, Damac Islands 2, we've done a very detailed report on, let's say, we've put down the numbers. Just to give you an example, let's say floor plans. In floor plans, living room of, let's say, a Valley 4-bedroom, total, let's say, area per square meter is around 21 square meter. This is 22.5. Now, we've done another thing. I've looked at the difference, right? What is the difference between the bigger size and the smaller size? And what is genuinely the percentage? How much of a difference this is? So you can clearly see, for example, the dining room with a value, let's say 3. The dining room is 11.8 square meters. This is 21. Let's say 2. That's almost a 79% jump in area, right? So I know this is more expensive. The price per square feet is more expensive. We are trying to analyze what is justified, and a lot of times a lot of clients have a particular taste as well. So these are, so typically what we're trying to do for the 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms is we want to analyze at the end of the day, because nothing is right and wrong. It's more about analyzation.
So I just want to add, a lot of clients of mine were like, especially who are into development of houses in places like US, Australia, UK. They were like, Zohaib, the most important thing when a family or an end user comes to buy, they look at the living room, kitchen, master bedroom. These are some of the most important.
Absolutely.
So if you observe over here, the living room, the dining room, it's 79% bigger. The kitchen is 169% bigger. And the master bedroom is also 60% bigger. Now, again, we are not putting any community. I mean, both are fantastic products.
Absolutely.
It really depends on your objective. Are you moving into the house yourself? So a lot of people have this perspective that Sobha, the quality of construction is better. Emaar is very strong when it comes to infrastructure and branding. Now, branding is really strong, and branding really matters in the Dubai real estate market. The second I make a Damac video, I get a lot of abuse, whether the product is good or not, because of maybe the past experiences, or even when someone tries to improve, it doesn't help. But I'll come to a conclusion later, but as of now, just understand these points. Okay.
So again, very interestingly, ideally, yes, I mean, Sobha Elwood, this portion aside, obviously a lot of things in the floor plans, they have slightly bigger sizes than Emaar. Now, one thing which is very interesting and important, so guys, again, detached and independent, very few, again, consultants go into this. I mean, a lot of them, they say it's the same thing, but if you actually look at it, let's say if this is one villa, this is another villa, detached ideally means that you're not sharing your wall. So this is a garden space, let's say this is a garden space, right? Independent, a very important concept, which again 90% people overlook. The difference between detached and independent is detached ideally means all your 4 walls are not touching any other villa or building, right? So over here, you have a compound wall, you have an L-shaped, let's say, garden, you have your privacy as well, but this is not independent. Independent means that you can walk ideally, you have breathable space over here, and your, let's say, boundary or your, let's say, brick or wall is not touching any compound wall. That's a major difference, because a lot of times there are detached villas which technically, yes, still are independent because it's an added layer of privacy, but a lot of clients, they prefer independent villas. A lot of clients, they don't mind detached villas if the floor plans make sense.
Only thing I want to add is, in these two types, what we need to observe is the distance, or the exact distance is between these walls and these walls. Because many times an independent villa is so narrow, and the house, a detached sometimes makes more sense. You'll actually have more usable area.
Absolutely.
You know, so sometimes, like for example, in Avina, do you remember it was 3.5 meters?
No, Avina was 5 meters.
5 meters.
5.5.
So this was, let's say, 5 meters, and this is
correct. So if this is like a I understand. If this is a semi-detached and you have something over here, this again is 5.5. It repeats itself. So this is almost around
10 meters, 10 to 12 meters distance. You know, at the same time, if this is back to back, it's not the same. It's not the same. So big difference. You know. So the prices were.
This Emaar was 7 million. Elwood was 9.9 million. 10 million around.
Okay, sorry. 7 million and 9.9?
Around 10 million. Yeah.
10 million. Now, every time you go for an investment, you need to think, okay, what price you want to sell it at? Okay, let's say I want to sell this at 10, I want to sell this at 12. So when a 12 million person with a 12 million budget is going to go on E66. This is the road, okay? So first he has District 1. Then he has Nadushiba Gardens. Then he has Opal Gardens. Then he has Eden Hills by H&H. Then he has District 11. Then he has Elwood. Then there's Outlet Mall. Then there's Valley. And then there's... So he's... Your client or your customer is going to hop all these... Now, technically, District 1 is out of his budget, okay? Nadushiba Gardens, maybe the houses are too close to each other, right? Eden Hills is again out of his budget. District 11, again, it's literally, this is the District 11, this is a compound, there's maybe a pool in between, and all of these are just houses back to back. It's going to be very tough to resell these products. It's going to be really tough. That's why I've never spoken about it. Then you have Elwood and Elwood Valley Greenwood. We are not touching Greenwood as of now. Now, Elwood is very interesting. If you look at Forest Villas, Forest Villas, Barari, Elwood all come under the same category of a forest, a very dense forest, phenomenal quality of construction, beautiful houses, and they've performed really well. In Forest Villas, the rents are starting around 1.2. So this is definitely a possibility. Maybe the Indian buyers would Dubai original source markets were India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia were your original source markets all the way up to maybe 2021. After 2021, the new source markets are Russia, UK, Europe, US, Australia, all new source markets have opened up. But it's a very important market. Indian markets, being able to sell to an Indian house is useful to know. So I think Sobha, that will be an interesting... So I think an Indian buyer would easily spend 12 million maybe from the UK, from Australia. These are your typical buyers. Now, so he will come, he'll see Elwood, he'll go to Valley.
Correct.
Which one will he buy?
Absolutely.
So this is the sort of analysis you'll have to do. You need to understand all your competition.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, we'll go back to the...
When we look at this section, obviously a lot of things in green, which means the sizes are much better. The price point, obviously, and the price per square feet is much better. Now, one more point. This is not related to floor plans, but again, see why... Zohaib or why me a lot of times also, we really talk about Emaar as the benchmark, and then obviously everything revolves around it. If you actually look at Valley, the plot itself was acquired almost, I think, a decade back. So Valley started in 2019. You're already at the phase 3 of a master community. Your price point is still anywhere between the 1600, let's say, to 1650 for some units. Elwood was launched last year, right? and now they've already bumped up the price to close to 2,000 dirham per square feet. Now, this is not that Sobha is greedy. Sobha, I believe, acquired the plot itself 2 years back. So land acquisition cost had went up.
No, but see, this is not a bad thing.
Yeah. It's just basically we're trying to,
True, but developers bumping up the price is fantastic for investors.
Correct.
Means you'll make the money, which reminds me, I have a distress deed in Elwood Phase 1. Anyone needs a distress, but only problem is cash flow.
Yep.
You have to pay 50% upfront, but I have something on OP because in UK, unfortunately, the investor is really well backed that he's probably going to invest around 50 to 75 million. But the UK government froze his bank accounts. So he's fighting the case to unfreeze his bank account. So as of now, he wants to he cannot make the payments. It's a phenomenal opportunity. We can buy something OP in phase 1 because I picked up a unit right on the forest, a 5-bed on the forest, beautiful unit. But okay, so I wanted to quickly mention, see, sometimes price per square foot is
not the only
because people are like price per square foot, right? Now these factors really play a pivotal role. Maybe some people don't like G+2, because it's very interesting that Yash added the FAR because people don't even talk about the FAR. Because there are some products that are G+3.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? So it looks like a massive built-up area, but in reality, how usable is it?
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so
and I think as you rightly, like walk-in closets, obviously over here, there's a very interesting now concept in Elwood. This is particularly for the 4-bedders. So the 4 bedrooms have 2 types. It's a type A, type C. They don't have a type B. Your 5 bedrooms again have a type A, type B. 6 bedrooms is only 1 type, right? So when I was looking at the floor plans, a very interesting concept which I actually saw is it has a walk-in closet for Sobha Elwood. For some, again, basically, guest bedrooms or let's say the other bedrooms, you don't really have a walk-in closet, but there's a dedicated space. So you enter, you have the space for your wardrobe, there's a small passage, and then you start the room, right? So at the end of the day, typically with, let's say, developers, you have a walk-in closet, or then you have your bed, and then immediately 60 centimeters gap, you have a wardrobe. With Sobha Elwood, with a couple of their types, again, we have to go into specifics of types, they've really managed to, give separate space to the bedroom and separate space to the wardrobe, even if it's not a walk-in wardrobe.
What does that mean for you? If you're an investor, as an end user, of course, it's fantastic. It's no-brainer. But as an end user, you understand that we can easily sell this product to an end user. See, your valley is like a Dubai Hills. It's a buffet. There are a lot of products, vibrant community, phenomenal infrastructure. Sobha is a bit more niche, right? Your entry ticket is around 10 million itself, correct? Right? One potential negative, which is not confirmed yet, is that the
apartments, yep.
Okay, absolutely. So that's something we'll have to hedge. We'll have to identify opportunities that are away from that section of master plan so that it does not affect our investment.
Yeah.
This is huge in the Asian culture, not just Indian.
Correct.
Indian, Pakistani, Japanese, Chinese. This is very big, having that passage because, so it's very big in the Asian culture. So we have some definitive markets where we can trade or sell that. So we must see, trading and flipping is extremely hard. It has to be planned from the start of the investment on who we're going to sell. So if I'm investing into let's say a maritime city or a Jurf, Marsa or Jurf, certain products in Abu Dhabi, I am targeting the Russian market, European market, Kazakhstan market. Now, in 4 seasons, which was selling at, 14,000 dirham per square foot, one of the biggest buyers was from Kazakhstan, so it's very important to identify who are the major buyers of your certain product, and we need to plan it from the beginning.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. No, and see, again, just to summarize the 4, we'll move to the 5 and the 6 as well. It's not that, because as Zohaib rightly mentioned, both Emaar and Sobha have their own, let's say, pros and cons. Now, for many people, as you rightly said, maybe a G+1 is sufficient. For many people now, I am buying a 4, which exactly happened with a Veena, a Rivera, Farm Grove, semi-detached, and Silvara in Grand Polo. You're buying a 4-bedroom, but because you're, let's say, There's an upper bedroom on the, let's say, roof floor as well with the terrace access.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you can just close the door, make it as a 5th bedroom, your pantry, and again a toilet. So a lot of people might like the option. A lot of people may feel, hey, you know what? We don't need the extra room. It's unnecessary space. I have to climb up because there's no lift. So again, it's an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We head to the next one.
to the next one. Now, so this is again very interesting. In the 5 bedrooms this time, okay, you're not going to see over here a complete domination from Sobha, right? So a lot of times Emaar is going to again take the curb. Yes, I think in this region itself, Emaar wins to a point. Price per square feet. Overall, if you look at even the plot size, see, the differences are less. Again, so I'm not going to compare whether Emaar or Sobha has the bigger built up a plot. It's a 3 or a 2% difference between both. Yes, your price per square feet and your entry price is massive. It's almost 28% on the price per square feet.
Let's talk about supply. What is the supply? How many houses of these can we anticipate in Elwood?
See, I think Elwood itself, at least for Sobha, it's 10 million square feet of land parcel. You're looking at 400 villas. Almost, I think already 200 of them are sold out. They're releasing another 56. So maybe they'll complete 250, 260.
Huge.
Yep.
10 million square feet of land and only 400 houses. So this is why I will never say this is bigger. I'll tell you why. Even though kitchen, it's 18.7 and dining room is 29. These are big. This is when it comes to another problem, the most dangerous aspect of Dubai real estate, which is probably why Fitch came up with the report, are brochures. Now, if I have seen some brochures, especially in areas like, let's say, Dubai Islands, every apartment building looks like you're going to step onto the sea. Every apartment building looks like Vijay Mallya's house in Goa. Every building. But reality is far from it, So that is why these points, it makes it not everyone can visualize. That's why you need someone like an architect, where he knows exactly, okay, there is a passage between the walk-in closet and the bedroom. It's a huge aspect. There is a certain passage. What is the distance between, where is the bathroom, master bathroom allocated in comparison to the bedroom? These small nuances, unfortunately, most people invest and then they get to know when they see the villa. First time they get to the villa, they're like, oh my God, what did we lie,
Correct.
So these nuances really do matter.
100%. And just even coming back to the, let's say, for example, the 5-bedders. See, the interesting thing was in the 4-bedders, even though the price point was higher, obviously there was a clear domination with Sobha in terms of sizes. This time, again, you can see that with Emaar, considering, let's say, the bedrooms per se, you have the guest bedroom, you have the master bedroom. Again, you have 2 more bedrooms. Emaar is a little bit bigger on sizes. So in terms of the price point now, you're looking at almost a 3 million difference. The sizes are comparable now. So, it's not that Emaar is very less.
Yeah. So, no, I think Emaar this time has launched a product. Emaar, in 17 years of my experience, I've never seen Emaar making a failing product.
Correct.
Especially when it comes to houses.
Yeah.
There are a lot of negative case scenarios when it comes to apartment buildings. I don't want to get into that now. But in houses, I've never seen a failing case.
Correct.
But it's just this.
And sorry, one more thing. So basically I've divided it into sections because then every section you can study. So even now even if it's, let's say, equated to the same thing, this is very interesting. So obviously the standard 5-bedroom villa that you get, it has 1 walk-in closet and there's another one for another bedroom on the first floor. So total, let's say there are 2 walk-in closets. For Elwood, it has a minimum of 2 walk-in closets, but there's a type A of the 5-bedder where all the bedrooms on the first floor, I think there are almost 4 bedrooms on the first floor, you have 4 walk-in closets, right? Now again, right, this is more in terms of niche, in terms of taste. But people, when they're buying almost 11, 12 million products, they need walk-in closets.
The payment plan of Sobha is 60/40.
So interestingly, Sobha now technically it's 80/20, but that's something where we can negotiate because obviously, we have certain connections and we can do a 60/40.
all this sounds great. Again, making money on paper, making money in reality is different. Now, all this sounds great, but there are a few things. One, the apartment building, it reminds me of District 1. Remember District 1 West? So we went to a villa, there were apartment building facing, and it became very hard to resell that product.
Yep.
That's extremely critical. We cannot do that.
Absolutely.
Second, see, historically, Sobha, you are able to resell only on handover. Before that, it is really hard. There is a very tough time because what is the name of the?
I think Reserve?
Sobha Reserve. Yeah. So Reserve, half the people don't even know about the project. Nobody knows. If I tell Sobha Reserve, how many people know the location of the product, right? Beautiful floor plans, sold out, I think on day one.
Correct.
Right? Beautiful product, beautiful floor plans, but nobody knows about it. So what happens is, even Forest Villas for that matter.
Yeah.
Forest Villas had a very tough time even selling. So I remember the launch of Forest Villas, they were selling at like 9 million, 11 million, 13 million.
Correct.
Later on, when people realized the quality, they saw the villa, that's when it went towards 19, 22, and now it's gone much higher. So you realistically, anyone entering in this should be for the long hold.
Absolutely.
Emaar, there may be a possibility, may or may not be a possibility of trading, because trading in Emaar has been a lot easier for us. Both are fantastic products. Both will gain value, but these nuances you have to understand. Okay.
Absolutely. So I think, again, I mean, this was just a quick summary of the 5-bedders as well. Okay, one thing which, again, it's more about choice, right? It's taste. We cannot just benchmark this is good, this is bad. Sobha, they always give the swimming pool built, ideally in their villas. Emaar, they give you the provision at the end of the day.
Right. Okay.
Now, for a lot of clients, this might be a bonus that, hey, the developer itself is building the swimming pool. For a lot of clients, they love Emaar because, hey, I don't need a swimming pool, right? I just maybe make it a pure garden. I don't need to really, dip in the pool myself. Right. So again, smaller nuances for the 5 bedrooms. Very tough, again, competition. It again depends on price point.
It depends on the investor objective. I think Sobha Elwood is fantastic for somebody who's looking to move to Dubai.
Correct.
Wants a beautiful floor plan. Wants to live in it for themselves.
Yep.
I think, that is why, when I invested into Cinia, my objective, if Win Casino helps to increase the market value, fantastic. If not, I think it's a beautiful villa to live in.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful on the beach. Nobody can, I don't think, you must understand, I have a lot of respect for Sobha because they were contractors for almost 40 years. They built palaces for the sheikhs. They were contractors. They became developers now. Unlike a lot of developers who just have financial backing, come to the market, hey, it's a great market.
Correct.
I want to make more money than the regular investor. Let me buy a plot and let me develop. Good, bad does not matter. Let me make profit. Huge difference in these two people. Sobha knows exactly what they're doing. So a lot of respect, regard. In terms of quality, very few people can challenge Sobha.
I think Sobha, I really understand and even, let's say, resonate, appreciate their villas. And that's why, obviously, I mean, Elwood. So Elwood, even last year when it was selling at 1,600 and value was selling at 1,300, it's still, again, it's sold out. It still has potential. So they really know how to make these villas. They want to keep their niche. Their apartments is a different discussion. Obviously, we can. I don't
want to talk about.
And even,
I'm very controversial guy. But not I think we talk about Sobha apartments. Yeah. But then I can talk about Emaar as well. I can talk about a lot of developers when it comes to apartments. So let's not get that.
Yeah, in the villa market.
So even that distressed deal that I said, now this guy has a potential of 100 million, but we looked at Empress Hills and Emaar and all of that. But he understood the value proposition in Sobha. He liked it for himself. He's like, this is a place that I could live.
Correct, absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's the angle with Sobha.
And now obviously we move to the most interesting one, because now it's Damac Islands V, Sobha, it's Emaar. So now, we're not just selling Damac, we're not selling Sobha, we're not selling Emaar. I think it's now, one of the most, interesting. And the color combinations, ideally, because the three products is the most, let's say, better one, the middle one, and let's say the smaller one at the end of the day. Now, see, I'll give you just quick perspective and you can definitely add on. Damac Islands 2, the most interesting comparison, I think, and a lot of investors ask me this, Valley is coming up, Sobha is coming up, and Damac Islands coming up. All the best villas, right? The 6 bedrooms. Now, technically, Emaar, there's not a 6 bedroom, but as I mentioned to Zohaib, because all of their 4 and 5 bedders are G+2, you can technically convert the upper floor into a bedroom. So, again, a very interesting comparison. See, if we start from
So don't add one.
Yeah.
See, now when I told about visualization and having an architect on board and understand their floor plan a lot deeper, this is what I meant. See, now for example, 5,000 square foot plot and these two plots are comparable. But that plays a huge role again. You know, remember I told you, okay, think of the person who's buying the property.
Correct.
Now he goes to different communities. What is your competition? So that is where your resale can get affected. Okay, I'll please continue.
No, because the whole idea was, if you look at the first segment itself, even if you look at, let's say, the difference in sizes, Damac Islands is obviously the least, and you're looking at a 25% difference. In the plot itself, ideally, you're looking at a 44% difference in, total size. I mean, this is, let's say, 500. This is again 300. I think even, sorry, I need to again correct this as well. The most interesting thing is this, ideally, in terms of built up differences, Damac Islands is 25% less as a built up than Valley, right? Still fine. This number is wrong. I'll rectify that. But now that you mentioned, if you look at the plot and if you look at this is almost a 78% jump in plot size. So it's almost, double if you look at it, right? And that really... Yeah.
But I'm not saying Damac is a bad product. I'll tell you why. Now, Damac's V45 is the most ultra premium product of Damac, right? So it'll be on the lagoon.
Correct.
Or it's on the park or on the golf course. Absolutely. Not a golf course in this case. It'll be on the lagoon.
Correct.
Now, question is, of course, how big is a lagoon? That we'll have to assess. But this is an important point because see, most villa communities, they're probably facing another villa. That is why these plot sizes, the location of the plot. Because again, if you're an investor, these points are very important. It helps in you want your product to be in that top 15% of villas that can be resold.
Absolutely.
In a villa community, right? Absolutely. If you observe the master plan, there are few villas that will easily resell. For example, my villa in Villanova, because it's on the park, if the market price is 3.3, I bought at 1.45, market price is 3.3. The second I price at 2.9, boom, it's sold.
Absolutely. Right? You can undercut the market much better.
But not everyone can do that. If you have back-to-back villa, maybe you cannot. So, so these are points. Okay, please.
No, and I think very interestingly, when you, let's say, move in Damac Islands, I know it starts at 9.5, let's say 10.5. So the entry ticket with respect to all of these, even the price per square feet is better. If you even, let's say, compare this to something like a Sobha Elwood, you're almost getting, let's say, an independent villa 26% less.
Now, the biggest problem in the market is people use just this one line. Oh, the price per square foot is 1,000. So the lowest price per square foot, they don't look at all these factors. They look at this one factor and say, buy now.
Correct.
And that's probably one of the worst decisions you'll make in your life. So be very careful.
And so this was the most interesting one, and I'll tell you why. Because definitely this is 10 million and these are, let's say, 13. This is almost 14. So, you're actually entering into maybe like an Oasis new launch as well with this. But here you can actually see a total domination by Emaar. I think they have, given phenomenal sizes. I was looking at the floor plans as well. Again, it's a perspective, right? Not everybody may go to 13. Somebody will be comfortable at 9.5, 10. Just one more. It's a quick nuance because a lot of people may just observe this.
This is fantastic. Oh my God.
So Damac in
the 1 square
meters, right? Total size, if you look at it. So Damac, they actually have a formal living room, an informal living room, a formal dining space and informal dining space, right?
Meter master bedroom.
Absolutely. So again, over here, even when I have added, let's say, the informal spaces which I've mentioned over here, still Emaar wins just in terms of size. I think, again, one of the biggest differences is it has 4 walk-in closets, including the master bedroom, this time with Emaar. All, again, the 5 bedrooms and the upper bedroom en suite are en suite. Now, the interesting thing about Damac, I'll tell you, again, I really don't know. I mean, I spoke to the developer, but again, it's let's say in the air. The most interesting thing is they claim, obviously there are 6 bedrooms, yes. The bedroom on the top, right? Actually, if you look at the floor plan, they've made it into like a game room. So there's no wardrobe right now in the bedroom, at least what they've shown in the renders and the floor plan, right? So because a lot of developers, you have your white goods, your, let's say, kitchen utensils, wardrobes and toilets given by you. This may not have a wardrobe on the top floor, right?
Now, another really important point I want to add is because see, at this price point, like he rightly mentioned, 13 to 14 million, what we should be doing is we should be assessing on this plot size in this bit, because this plot and built up is fantastic. 8,000 square foot built up is not a joke.
Absolutely.
Okay. We need to analyze how many products are there in the market. What is your competition? Where are you on the ranking chart in terms of preference of your end user? Always look at it. Okay, so what is the price of this product?
See, sorry, 14 million. So, correct. No, this is 13 million. Let's say this is around 4.4.
So, in case you're an investor, you've invested 10 million. You want to sell this at, let's presume 18 million. You want to sell it at 18. You want to sell this at 18 million, this at 18 million. What is your priority? 18 million. What all are your competitions in the locations, and how fast you'll be able to trade it? What is your priority?
Absolutely. And one more thing, again, I mean, you can add it in the floor plan as well. In Sobha Elwood, one of the biggest turn-offs for me was, see, a lot of times effective floor plan usage is what a lot of people love. I mean, even if the room technically is not bigger, but in Sobha Elwood, you have a lengthy passage in one room and then your room starts. So you're actually walking a little bit. And I don't know if it reminds you of this. If you remember, I don't know why I remember this, but Avenue 4, Nabni, the show apartment, their 2-bedroom, they had this one, which they phenomenally fixed in Nabni 5 and Nabni 6.
Right.
For the 2-bedroom in one, I still remember, you walk
a long passage
and then you have the bedroom, right? So technically, looking at the width, you can deem it as, let's say, a proper bedroom. But that again is unusable space. You're paying for it.
Right.
So might as well, consider that as well.
Agreed.
I think, again, I mean, but one more thing, now again, favoring Sobha, you have a lift for this one. You have a lift.
Again, huge thing. Okay, this is really big in the Asian market again. Maybe the white people won't understand why you need an elevator. For you guys, you're Hudayrat Island. The sports and facilities, Athlon, Hudayrat Island is for the white people. For this Asian people, we're used to having parents in the house, So parents live with us and they're quite aged. And so for them, having an elevator is almost essential. So again, you come in that scarcity bracket.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that, I mean, it's a very interesting comparison, obviously.
Right.
With our villa investors, we have these detailed calls itself. We understand pros and cons. Because as you rightly mentioned, you're looking at 7 million right up to 14.4, right?
Do you have time tomorrow? Do you have time tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, I had an investor who wanted to do a comparison between a 5-bed corner unit in Damac, around 3.8 to 4 million, versus a semi-detached on the park at around, one, what are the differences? Is it a good investment? What's the potential ROI, potential return on equity? So we'll make, again, this video stretched too long. What a video, right? This has been phenomenal, right? These are the sort of discussions you need to be having before making an investment, So if you'd like to book a call with Yash or Zohaib,
or both of us,
contact 3X.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Zohaib. Born and raised in Dubai, this city is truly my home. I began my real estate journey back in 2009 with Emaar, and now with 17 years of experience, I can say with absolute confidence, just consultation doesn't cut it anymore. That's why 3X Capital we go beyond, offering not just consulting. Yes, we are the best in consulting, but also business setup, mortgage services, Airbnb, property management, corporate structuring, golden visa solutions, and even crypto advisory. We approach every client with a luxury concierge mindset, trying to ensure you receive seamless end-to-end support on every step of your investment journey. Welcome to 3X, a new norm in Dubai, where Habibi meets global opportunity.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Yash and Z.
Y and Z.